This is TNT Sports, home of NASCAR's Race to the Championship. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me double shot inside.
TNT Sports presents Bud Pole Qualifying to set the starting field for the Sharpie 500 at Bristol. Tucked in the hills of Bristol, Tennessee, sits a half-mile short track with turns banked higher than Daytona or Talladega. Speeds are fast, the action furious, and that's just qualifying, let alone the race. Unfortunately, those high banks are kind of wet right now. A brief but intense shower within the last 20 minutes has put a damper on Bud Pole Qualifying. We're in a rain delay situation here in Thunder Valley. Let's see what's going on down in the garage area while we wait out the wet. Here's Matt Yoakum.
Alan Rusty Wallace couldn't pick a better place to end the second longest streak of his Winston Cup career without a pole. Now at 61 races, top 5 in practice. And Rusty, you drew a great spot on the grid, fourth from the end. You really want to get out there and take a shot at that pole.
Yeah, I do. We tested here, ran real well in the test session, ran real good and fast. And so I think I got a car that can get the pole with I really do. And if that doesn't happen, the car was really good in race setup, so I'm excited about that too.
How jacked up do you get as a driver knowing that Bristol's on the schedule, the night race, and you're coming each week as it gets closer and closer that you go into Thunder Valley?
I get really excited about it. You know, I've won here 9 times, and the place has been super good to me, so I can't think of a better reason to come up to Bristol and like it.
Well, he wants that rain to stop so he can get a shot of his 8th career pole here in Thunder Valley, and more importantly, tomorrow night, under the lights, his 10th Bristol victory. Dave Burns?
Hey, Matt, a guy that's looking for his 3rd pole this season is rookie Ryan Newman. Ryan, your car was 5th quick, according to the sheet that I had this morning. Good enough for the pole if we get to qualify?
Yeah, it'll definitely be a contender, no doubt. I mean, it's just so close. You got to hit everything right. You got to avoid the right bumps and hit the right bumps, and the track's tough. I mean, you got to carry a lot of speed through the corners and the straightaways, and you know, in that instance, it's no different than any other place, but it's more on edge than most places.
What do you think about Bristol in terms of getting your first victory? You've been second 3 times this year. You've had, I think, 10 top 5s. You guys are close. Is Bristol the place you think you can get your first win?
It all depends. I mean, so many things can happen. You're at everybody else's misfortune when you're here at Bristol. There can be a wreck in 35th when you're leading and you're the first guy to it. And you know, it's just so tough. Time is just of the essence here, and timing can be your best friend and your worst friend at the same time. So we'll just have to see how things go, get the car qualified, and hopefully get a good pit position, and you know, go from there.
Timing is everything, Alan, and at Bristol it happens real fast.
Yeah, Dave, and the rain happened real fast, too. Welcome to Bud Pole Qualifying. Alan Bestwick, Wally Dallenbach, Benny Parsons. What, 30 minutes ago, it was about 96, 97 degrees. The sun was shining, and then the clouds let loose, and now the track's all wet. That's got to be frustrating for these drivers and teams who are already pushing their cars through tech and getting set to go.
To get ready to qualify. And, you know, Ryan Newman talked about hitting the right bumps, missing the right bumps on the racetrack, and now Jeff Gordon was the quickest car in that practice session. He has to go out and duplicate that lap. And can he do it? A lot of pressure on these drivers to try to duplicate those laps from practice.
And they've got to sit here and wait out the rain and what track conditions are going to change and so on before they get a chance to go. Wally, a driver this morning down in the garage told me qualifying at Bristol is 30 seconds of terror.
That pretty much hits the nail on the head around this place. You always hear drivers, I'm holding my breath. I've got to hold my breath. You literally hold your breath around this place qualifying. It happens so fast. And like Ryan's saying, you got to hit your marks. You got to be perfect. So, yeah, this is a very intimidating racetrack.
The topic of discussion in the garage area throughout the morning was yesterday's vicious NASCAR Busch Series crash here at Bristol that you've probably read about sometime earlier today. Mike Harmon was the driver. He comes up off of turn number 2. It's so reminiscent of Michael Waltrip's crash here back in 1990. Catches where the crossover gate meets the concrete wall, and it destroys his car.
The gate gave way, and he hit that concrete wall head on, and you can see just literally sheared the car in two. And watching the circle, that's Mike Harmon sitting in there. Johnny Sauter comes along in the 2 car and luckily misses. And watch this, folks. He stands up and steps out of the car.
Unbelievable.
That is, and someone said, he looked at those guys and said, I can't believe it, I'm alive.
So similar to Michael Waltrip's crash here. And the story was there are steel reinforcing posts that are supposed to be put behind that gate. They weren't in place when that practice crash happened yesterday.
Well, that's what I heard. We see the post back there, but that fence gave way and he goes into that concrete wall that doesn't give. But again, we talk about how safe these cars are. You know, sometime along the line, you got to be lucky.
Yeah.
And Mike Harmon was lucky.
There's no other way to explain that.
No, that's right.
It's unbelievable. You know, I talked about the similarities to Michael Waltrip's crash here a number of years ago. Same thing. Watch Michael in that red and yellow 30 car. Gets bumped with Robert Presley there. Same spot, same thing.
And the car just stops. I mean, it's going 70, 80, 60, whatever miles per hour, and the car just literally stops. And nothing can do that. The car just, Michael's car totally disintegrated. As a matter of fact, when the rescue workers went to Michael's car, there were 2 parts of the car. They went to the wrong part. They went to the biggest part where they thought he would be. He was not there. He was in the other part over there. Whew. I mean, then one says, have you ever seen a wreck that bad? I said, yeah, Michael Waltrip, because a lot of similarities. And I would not want to have been in either one of those cars, nor would I pick the one that was the worst crash.
Obviously, besides the fact that Mike Harmon is okay, the really neat part to that story is he went to the hospital, got a checkup, came back here to the racetrack, borrowed Larry Gunselman's backup car, and is in tonight's NASCAR Busch Series race that you'll see at 8 Eastern time here on TNT. Unbelievable. All right, we're in a rain delay. Bud Pole qualifying from Bristol. Tony Stewart supposed to be the first guy out. Here at Bristol Motor Speedway, the track is drying very, very quickly. You're going to have Bud Pole qualifying underway for you shortly here live on TNT. You'll see every car run. Tony Stewart and Dale Jarrett will be the first couple out. Showed you this action earlier with Mike Harmon hitting that crossover gate in turn 2, then getting hit by Johnny Sauter.
I mean, the right front tire went flat. He ran over something, punctured a tire, whatever. The right front was flat, and the car just goes straight. And that wall gave enough that he hit that concrete abutment.
I mean, he is so lucky.
And it just cut the car literally in 2. And watch this, folks. He just gets up. He doesn't have to go out the window. He just steps out.
And that's not oil coming from the racetrack. That's coming from his suit.
Well, fortunately, we can laugh about it now, and so can Mike. He's with Marty Snyder.
That's a great point. We can laugh about it now, Mike. And first of all, let's take things chronologically. What happened with the wreck?
Well, you know, like we said before, something broke in the front of the car. Our tire went down. We really don't know. As hard as the car hit the wall, we'll probably never know. But, you know, we're coming down the back stretch there, and after we got in it, got into the fence pretty hard, and the car started coming apart. And, you know, I knew it wasn't a normal wreck, and got spun around some way, and the 2 car hit me, which I didn't realize after it was over with. And then when it was over, I looked up and saw the roof, and half the car was gone, and, you know, felt like I was very lucky to survive and was ready to get out of that thing.
At impact, did you know it was a different kind of wreck? Did it feel different to you?
Well, not really at the first impact. It was a normal deal. But then when the wall started coming through the car, I knew it wasn't normal. You know?
That was kind of a good indication.
It was a good indication that something wasn't right. And I'm just very, very thankful to the good Lord that nothing got into me, all the debris that was flying around.
And you did not see Johnny Sauter coming at you, and that was probably the most scariest part of the wreck.
Hey, I'm glad I did see it according to the pictures that I saw, but I didn't see Johnny. The first time I saw him was when I stepped up out of the car and looked down the track and saw my engine, front clip, and his car and radiator and all that laying down on the track. And that's when I knew that somebody else had hit me as well.
Now, how does a guy have the guts to come back from the hospital, take out someone else's backup car, and then go qualify it and race tonight?
Well, that's hard to answer, but it's just what we do, you know. Just what we do for a living, and you just got to do it. And I wanted to do it, and you know, I just wish we had a car built to run here. The car we're starting is a speedway car, and you know, I'm really thankful to the guys that loaned that to us, and you know, looking forward to getting something together and getting on to Darlington running good maybe.
And now you got a good luck charm yesterday before you got in practice. Show us a good luck charm. That was from your grandson or from who?
It's from my sister's grandson. He sent me a lucky coin, and it was on the way. Fortunately, it wasn't with me at the time. I might have lost it, but you know, maybe to help us out tonight and down the road.
But it worked well enough for you, Mike. We're glad to see you around here still. Alan?
Unbelievable scene here yesterday.
Let's watch this wreck one more time. We see Harmon going in, and we see the engine rolling down the racetrack. Down there's, once again, we're going to see here's the engine rolling down the racetrack. And you know, the guys back on the back pits watching that wreck said the amazing thing, the engine ran rolling down the racetrack. It was still running, and it ran for about 10 seconds. It finally stopped. It was still running.
It ran out of gas.
I guess it ran out of gas. Didn't have the gas line hooked up to it. Finally, it ran out of gas.
Well, as we said, it has been the topic of discussion in the garage all morning as we've been here at the racetrack, is how Mike Harmon survived that accident. We are sure glad that he did. All right, Dave.
Alan, Bobby Labonte just viewed that footage with me a second ago, Alan. I know you've never had a wreck here like that, but this place can sneak up on you and beat you up. Have you ever had a night that has felt nearly that bad?
Yeah, but after looking at that, it really wasn't that bad at all, I suppose. Mike, man, you know, very, very fortunate person that he is to be here today, because that sure is, you know, horrific.
You threw your helmet one time here. This place can make you mad, can it?
It really can. It, you know, brings out the worst in you a lot of times, and unfortunately it does. But you know, it can be a lot of fun when you're doing good, but when something happens, you know, it just takes everything out of you that you worked so hard for, because you know, it could go just real fast, and you know, you do get pretty you can get pretty frustrated over a bad night here a lot of times, more than other places, it seems like.
We've had a rain shower here now. You've got to go out and run 2 flying laps. What is the track going to be like when you go to it?
Well, hopefully dry, and it didn't really rain enough to probably wash any rubber off that was already on the racetrack. So I mean, it wasn't a big rain. I mean, it lasted for a little bit, but it wasn't terrible. So you know, hopefully it won't change a whole lot. We'll really have to wait and see. Tony goes out first, and we go out, I think, 7th or 8th. So you know, maybe we'll get a little bit of information before we have to go, because things happen here so fast. But it'll be interesting.
That's right, and it's good to have a teammate going out before you in a situation like this, guys. Tony Stewart can provide some information before Bobby ever hits the track.
And you know, Bobby Labonte, when he threw the helmet, he didn't throw it at another driver. He threw it at his own car. Yeah. Remember when he crashed off turn 4? He threw the helmet at his own car, and then he goes up and kicks the car. I wonder if he broke his foot. Dave, ask him sometime, just for me, if he broke his foot when he kicked.
We can go in if you want. Okay. You know, Bobby, Benny asked a question, so I got to jump back in here, Bobby, and ask you this question real quick. Benny wanted to know if, since it was your own car that you threw the helmet at and kicked the car, he wanted to know if you hurt your foot.
No, I did not hurt my foot. I thought it was going to hurt, so I made sure that I was getting ready to, I was prepared to limp just in case it did hurt, but it really didn't hurt. At least I threw my helmet at my car, nobody else's.
You know what the real irony is here, Benny? Right before he came out here, he was looking at some new driver's shoes. I wonder why.
Steel-toed, right?
Yeah, probably.
All right, they're getting ready to roll the first car in a few minutes. Track has dried. Let's check out how they ran in practice earlier today. Ran from 11:20 to 1:20 Eastern time, and well, Jeff Gordon came up quickest.
Yes, he did. Earnhardt Jr. Elliott still continues to run well, and there's Rusty and Newman teammates. Ward Burton, the cat car in 10th spot.
First car rolls in a couple of moments. It'll be Tony Stewart out when we come back. T is brought to you by Stacker 2, the world's strongest fat burner. Burn fat, crush cravings, and supercharge your energy. By Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles and all-terrain vehicles. By Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with a crisp, clean, refreshing taste known only to the king of beers. And by Wendy's late-night pickup window, where you can eat great, even late. Here's our Wendy's race menu tonight at 8 p.m. on TNT. Got NASCAR Busch Series racing from here in Thunder Valley, presented by Cat Rental Stores. And tomorrow, the NASCAR Winston Cup Sharpie 500, starting at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Discover Card Countdown to Green leads things off. A lot of racing for you here on TNT over the next 24-plus hours. Sterling Marlin leads the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship coming into this weekend's race. He's with Marty Snyder.
Alan, he leads the points, but didn't lead practice this morning. 29th fastest in practice this morning. Sterling, what's up there?
We unloaded the car just sideways and just really loose the whole time. And we changed about 5 or 6 things here to qualify, get it tightened up, and see what we got. Kind of come with the same stuff we had. We qualified second with, and the track seems to be about 2 or 3 tenths slower than it was, and just real slick. So trying to get it figured out.
Yeah, now, you come into Bristol as the points leader. 43 points is the lead. And I don't care where you are on the points. You got to be worried because points can swap really fast here. Does that concern you at all?
Yeah, I mean, they can swap both ways. So,
there you go. You could get more points, right?
More points. I mean, it's a deal that a lot happens here fast. If you get caught up in something not your fault, but I like Bristol a lot. We've had a lot of top 5s, top 10s here, and we'll get it figured out.
All right, and I'm sure they're not worried about it because he's good here at Bristol. Dave.
So is Terry Labonte, and his popularity here in the Winston Cup Series obvious. We've signed about 20 autographs since we just barely stepped out of the hauler here, but you were sitting in watching that footage with me at Mike Harmon's wreck and of Mikey's wreck yesterday. This place can be tough, can't it?
Well, it can. That's that gate over there is obviously a problem area, and I know they thought they had it fixed correctly, but if it's not, all the pieces aren't in place, it obviously doesn't work. So Mike was awful lucky there, and that was just an incredible accident.
You've won here twice. How do you put stuff like that and the fact that there's contact all during this race out of your mind and concentrate on winning?
Well, you just, you know, this is a really neat racetrack, and you go out there and you just, man, try to run as hard as you can and stay out of trouble. You know there's going to, before the night's over, you're probably going to have a few tire marks on your car and probably going to bump into somebody or get bumped into, but that's just part of it here at Bristol.
And how good was your car this morning?
Well, it wasn't bad. We unloaded off the truck pretty good, and I think we got a good car, and, you know, we're pretty close there for qualifying, I think, but I think our race setup will be better.
And have you ever seen Terry's autograph card? He was signing a few of them here. Here's the card itself. And if you're somewhat skilled like me, it only took me how long to do this, Terry?
About a minute too long.
Yeah, about a minute too long. It folds into a cereal box. Pretty darn cool. Alan?
That is neat. I hadn't seen that before. Terry Labonte is 18th fastest in practice earlier today. One of 47 drivers waiting out a rain delay. Track is drying very quickly, though. Hopefully we'll be able to go qualifying here at Bristol very shortly.
This Sunday, Witchblade takes over TNT. See every episode back-to-back and don't miss the drama of Witchblade. This Sunday, noon to 11. Only on TNT.
Tomorrow night, experience more in-car camera action with NASCAR In-Car on In Demand. With NASCAR In-Car, you get 5 in-car camera channels with virtual dashboards, real-time in-car data, and live team audio. 1-888-SPORTS-IN is the number to order the half-season package, only on digital cable. Matt Yoakum.
Well, Alan, no driver has wanted to come back to Bristol more than Robbie Gordon. And really, the return to the scene of the crime, you were talking earlier this week about the start between yourself and Jeff Gordon. You felt like he might have juked you a little bit there, and you could not wait to get back here.
I like coming to Bristol. You know, I saw you out there tonight and told you I was looking forward to coming to Bristol. And we unloaded out of the truck again fast. You know, we were, I think, 7th or 8th quickest in practice, so real excited about getting qualifying underway. I like this place. You know, we didn't have a good race last time, but I enjoy the getting after it kind of racing this is, and this kind of racetrack where you gotta hustle the car around, and the place that you can hustle the car around on concrete.
Now, you mentioned the post-race incident between yourself and Dale Jr. and how you guys really, it was water under the bridge before you even left the racetrack. You guys are still good friends.
Yeah, no, it's good. Actually, we were out testing with Dale Jr. the other day. You know, I come off probation this Saturday night.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm off probation, so I'm kind of hoping the way this Bristol race is and the things that go on here, I hope we have a caution period or red flag period for a while. Obviously, nobody getting hurt. This thing runs into about 12:01. They can get on the radio and say, okay, you're good to go now.
Well, Robbie Gordon couldn't pick a better place to score another Winston Cup win. He started here on the front row back in the spring. Marty?
Well, there's a smile on Dale Jarrett's face, and that's for good reason. Congratulations on the win last week. Did you do anything fun to celebrate this week?
Just been down at the shop. UPS had a luncheon for the guys, so I went down and joined them there and played a little golf and spent a little time with my family. So, yeah, things have been good.
That's good. Now, let's talk about this place. This place is an up-and-down place for you. Lately, not so great, but you've won here in the past. But let's talk about qualifying. How hard, you were just talking, how hard is it to hit that perfect lap here?
Wow, I've never hit it, obviously. I've never been on the pole, so I'm not sure. But, I mean, you know, you want to be really aggressive, and you have to be. But if you look at the timesheet, even from practice, how close things are. I mean, we're talking just hundreds and thousands of seconds here that will knock you back 8 or 10 spots if you miss it just a little bit. So, you know, you want to be aggressive, but you got to be careful because you get into these corners a little bit too hard and it only takes a little bit. Then you wash up the track, you're late picking up the throttle, and you've lost a lot of time.
Now we've had the rain. Will that change what happens at the track? Usually doesn't affect concrete too much, does it?
Yeah, not as much, it doesn't seem. I think the biggest thing that you see here is not really that it affects the concrete that much, but the blowers out there. You know, it seems that after you have them there and you don't get any more time, the thing is a little bit slicker right from the start. I don't know if it's the fuel that blows out on it a little bit from those dryers or what it is, but Tony and I are probably the guys that are going to get to test it first, so hopefully everything will be okay.
That's the disadvantage of going early, and then Wally would call that slickery, is what he calls it.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I didn't have the terminology exactly right, but that's what it'll be, yeah.
Exactly right. Alan?
Dale Jarrett going to be the second driver out to qualify here when we get started. Every time you come back here to Bristol, something has changed. There's been construction of some sort, and Dave is our man to discover what's new this time. Dave?
Well, and even sometimes destruction. In fact, what they had to do here to make it more accommodating for the teams to get back and forth the track was to drill a tunnel underneath turn 3. Now, it used to be that they could only go across the track through the crossover gate up here, and you had to time your day so that you would be inside when you wanted to be and outside when you want to be, or you'd be stuck. Now you can go down this tunnel anytime you want as a pedestrian and get back and forth with no problem. But I want to show you something else that's happened here that's pretty cool. Follow me this way, and we'll go right by all these Goodyear tires. This is a building, I guess we'll call it well, it probably has an official name, so I'm not going to get in trouble and say the wrong one, but it has Goodyear all over the building. The Goodyear guys are located here, and it looks like I'm barred from entering because there's a gate. If Dale Jarrett does win here, who we just talked to, he'll drive his car straight up this way. We see some tire tracks down there from earlier. He'll drive his car right up here, and I think by that time some of our equipment won't be here anymore. But, and look, here's the wagon up here in Victory Lane. He'll drive it right down here, park it, and be in Victory Lane. In fact, Wally, I think your car's here right now, which might portend for something very interesting. But they'll come here, celebrate their victory, fireworks, everything right here at Bristol.
Guess what? Dave, your microphone stopped.
It was that puddle he stood in. Hey, by the way, Dave, since you can't respond, you know what the name of that building with the Goodyear signs on the side of it is? The Goodyear building. Go get fixed. Thank you. Dave Burns does mime next when we come back. Bud Pole qualifying in a rain delay here at Bristol. NASCAR on TNT continues tonight at 8 Eastern Time. Cab Rental Stores presents NASCAR Busch Series Racing from Bristol. Tomorrow night, the Sharpie 500 from Thunder Valley at 7 Eastern Time.
Wouldn't you hate to drive a car that those guys tighten a lug nut?
Because I only got some of them on.
2 or 3 lug nuts is all they ever tighten. Man.
It was Marty who was.
They're not getting your money, BP.
They're fast.
That's cheating.
But that's right. That's a mild form of cheating right there.
As quick as the rain came over this racetrack, it has left, and the speedway is drying very, very quickly.
Corners,
got, 1, 2, 3, 4 jet dryers out there, and they're telling us from NASCAR Race Control less than 30 minutes before the first car will roll.
I think less than 30 minutes is easily less than 30 minutes.
You know, one of the things about racing here at Bristol is, Mark Martin calls it trying to fly a fighter jet in a gymnasium. It's controlled chaos, and sometimes the chaos gets out of control. This was the post-race after a NASCAR Goodies Dash Series race here on Wednesday night. Robert Huffman, sitting in the yellow car, was the first one to take the checkered flag, but there was some discussion.
That's Johnny Chapman. He was spun out the next to the last lap, and then I don't know who these guys are, but we got a heck of a fight going on right here. Now this girl in the orange hat, she can't wait to get in there.
I want her on my side.
Yeah. Man, oh man, she couldn't wait to get in the fight.
And there'll be pretty much 42 other teams that may feel that way tomorrow night.
And I heard there was a spotter up on the roof. On the last lap, a car was hit, spun out, and that guy's spotter hit the hitter's spotter and knocked him out cold. Cold right there on the spotter stand.
Bottom line on that whole thing was that Robert Huffman, the guy in the yellow car you saw sitting in Victory Lane, was penalized by NASCAR for rough driving and did not end up winning the race. Scott Weaver wound up taking the victory there.
Can we see that again?
Sure.
There's Johnny Chapman with the
congratulating him.
Well, no. He walked up to shake his hands, and then he started. Then he said, "You were a dirty, rotten dog." And see, that's what he's saying right now.
Watch his fist. He's getting ready. Watch his right hand. There it is.
Okay. All right, Jerry, get him out of the car. Now, I don't know exactly who these guys are.
You know, here's the thing. They've got a boxing arena on the grounds here at the racetrack that operated for a number of years. They could have just moved this whole thing about 500 yards and let him go.
There should be a copper Benny for that.
A copper?
Not the golden Benny, but
yeah, at least. Yeah.
Well, what are those rims made out of? They were rolling all over. Matt Kenseth and Matt Yoakum are seated together somewhere.
And Matt's teammate Kurt Busch won here back in the spring. You come back here looking for a Roush sweep, 25th in practice. Have you guys got enough in the car, do you think, after some changes to get a shot at the pole?
No. I was really pretty happy with my DeWalt car when it came off the trailer. We ran pretty good. We made some adjustments, and it felt really good. The last 2 runs I made, I was surprised there was no more speed out of it because the car felt like it was doing the things I wanted to do. So, to be honest, I didn't even change it where we ended up 25th or whatever. I just put a set of tires on. We're just going to go qualify it, so I didn't really know what to do with it. We made that run, probably 20 minutes before practice is over, so I'm hoping that the track picked up a little bit, and hopefully we can get somewhere in the top 15. That'd be all right.
What do you think this racetrack's going to be like? Because it is concrete, not asphalt, after the rain, after the jet dryers have been out there, because you do have an early draw.
To tell you the truth, I have no idea. I don't know what it's going to do. Usually concrete tracks, Dover here somewhat. This place doesn't always act the same as Dover, but sometimes they'll be faster after the rain just because it blew off all the loose rubber and some of the oil, and the track will be maybe a little bit more abrasive. All the pores and cracks stuff won't be full of rubber, and that might give you a little bit of grip. But that's what I'm hoping for since we're going out 6, but I'm not really sure.
Well, he's going out 6, and that's right where he started and finished back in the spring. 6th, Alan?
I think Dale Jarrett brought up a good point about those blowers. I think there probably is some fuel being thrown out of there. What do you think, BP?
Some oil residue coming off
whatever they burn out of that deal.
And the whole point is to get that hot air off the exhaust. Those are jet engines on the back of these pickups, and the exhaust comes out, and it does a tremendous job. But there has been some thought for the last few years that maybe some of the jet fuel residue comes out the exhaust as well and gets on the racetrack.
Yeah,
and
I
makes
think
it,
that's true.
what's that word?
Slickerier.
Slickerier.
Very slickery.
Slickery. Okay.
Well, slickerier, too. However it works, we're glad they're here because we're going to get running here very shortly. Tony Stewart's going to be the first driver out when Bud Pole qualifying begins very soon here at Bristol. Here at Bristol Motor Speedway, the track is drying very, very quickly. You're going to have Bud Pole qualifying underway for you shortly here live on TNT. You'll see every car run. Tony Stewart and Dale Jarrett will be the first couple out. Showed you this action earlier with Mike Harmon hitting that crossover gate in turn 2, then getting hit by Johnny Sauter.
I mean, the right front tire went flat. He ran over something, punctured a tire, whatever. The right front was flat, and the car just goes straight. And that wall gave enough that he hit that concrete abutment.
I mean, he is so lucky.
And it just cut the car literally in 2. And watch this, folks. He just gets up. He doesn't have to go out the window. He just steps out.
And that's not oil coming from the racetrack. That's coming from a suit.
Well, fortunately, we can laugh about it now, and so can Mike. He's with Marty Snyder.
That's a great point. We can laugh about it now, Mike. And first of all, let's take things chronologically. What happened with the wreck?
Well, like we said before, something broke in the front of the car. Our tire went down. We really don't know. As hard as the car hit the wall, we'll probably never know. But, we're coming down the back stretch there, and after we got in it, got into the fence pretty hard, and the car started coming apart. And, I knew it wasn't a normal wreck, and got spun around some way, and the 2-car hit me, which I didn't realize after it was over with. And then when it was over, I looked up and saw the roof, and half the car was gone, and, felt like I was very lucky to survive and was ready to get out of that thing.
At impact, did you know it was a different kind of wreck? Did it feel different to you?
Well, not really at the first impact. It was a normal deal. But then when the wall started coming through the car, I knew it wasn't normal.
That was kind of a good indication.
It was a good indication that something wasn't right. And I'm just very, very thankful to the good Lord that nothing got into me, all the debris that was flying around.
And you did not see Johnny Sauter coming at you, and that was probably the most scariest part of the wreck.
Hey, I'm glad I did see it because of the pictures that I saw. But I didn't see Johnny. The first time I saw him was when I stepped up out of the car and looked down the track and saw my engine front clip and his car and radiator and all that laying down on the track. And that's when I knew that somebody else had hit me as well.
Now, how does a guy have the guts to come back from the hospital, take out someone else's backup car, and then go qualify it and race tonight?
Well, that's hard to answer, but it's just what we do, you know. Just what we do for a living, and you just got to do it. And I wanted to do it, and you know, I just wish we had a car built to run here. The car we're starting is a speedway car, and you know, I'm really thankful to the guys that loaned that to us, and you know, looking forward to getting something together and getting on to Darlington running good maybe.
And now you got a good luck charm. Yesterday, before you got in practice, show us the good luck charm. That was from your grandson or from who?
It's from my sister's grandson. He sent me a lucky coin, and it was on the way. Fortunately, it wasn't with me at the time. I might have lost it, but you know, maybe to help us out tonight and down the road.
But it worked well enough for you, Mike. We're glad to see you around here still. Alan?
Unbelievable scene here yesterday.
Let's watch this wreck one more time. We see Harmon going in, and we see the engine rolling down the racetrack. Down there's, once again, we're going to see here's the engine rolling down the racetrack. And you know, the guys back on the back pits watching that wreck said the amazing thing, the engine ran rolling down the racetrack. It was still running, and it ran for about 10 seconds. It finally stopped. It was still running.
It ran out of gas.
I guess it ran out of gas. Didn't have the gas line hooked up to it. Finally, it ran out of gas.
Well, as we said, it has been the topic of discussion in the garage all morning as we've been here at the racetrack, is how Mike Harmon survived that accident. We are sure glad that he did. All right, Dave.
Alan, Bobby Labonte just viewed that footage with me a second ago, Alan. I know you've never had a wreck here like that, but this place can sneak up on you and beat you up. Have you ever had a night that has felt nearly that bad?
Yeah, but after looking at that, it really wasn't that bad at all, I suppose. Mike, man, you know, very, very fortunate person that he is to be here today, because that sure is, you know, horrific.
You threw your helmet one time here. This place can make you mad, can it?
It really can. It, you know, brings out the worst in you a lot of times, and unfortunately it does. But you know, it can be a lot of fun when you're doing good, but when something happens, you know, it just takes everything out of you that you worked so hard for, because you know, it could go just real fast, and you know, you do get pretty you can get pretty frustrated over a bad night here a lot of times, more than other places, it seems like.
We've had a rain shower here now. You've got to go out and run 2 flying laps. What is the track going to be like when you go to it?
Well, hopefully dry, and it didn't really rain enough to probably wash any rubber off that was already on the racetrack. So I mean, it wasn't a big rain. I mean, it lasted for a little bit, but it wasn't terrible. So you know, hopefully it won't change a whole lot. We'll really have to wait and see. Tony goes out first, and we go out, I think, 7th or 8th. So you know, maybe we'll get a little bit of information before we have to go, because things happen here so fast. But it'll be interesting.
That's right, and it's good to have a teammate going out before you in a situation like this, guys. Tony Stewart can provide some information before Bobby ever hits the track.
And you know, Bobby Labonte, when he threw the helmet, he didn't throw it at another driver. He threw it at his own car. Yeah. Remember when he crashed off turn 4? He threw the helmet at his own car, and then he goes up and kicks the car. I wonder if he broke his foot. Dave, ask him sometime, just for me, if he broke his foot when he kicked.
We can go in if you want. Okay. You know, Bobby, Benny asked a question, so I got to jump back in here, Bobby, and ask you this question real quick. Benny wanted to know if, since it was your own car that you threw the helmet at and kicked the car, he wanted to know if you hurt your foot.
No, I did not hurt my foot. I thought it was going to hurt, so I made sure that I was getting ready to, I was prepared to limp just in case it did hurt, but it really didn't hurt. At least I threw my helmet at my car, nobody else's.
You know what the real irony is here, Benny? Right before he came out here, he was looking at some new driver's shoes. I wonder why.
Steel-toed, right?
Yeah, probably.
All right, they're getting ready to roll the first car in a few minutes. Track has dried. Let's check out how they ran in practice earlier today. Ran from 11:20 to 1:20 Eastern time, and well, Jeff Gordon came up quickest.
Yes, he did. Earnhardt Jr. Elliott still continues to run well, and there's Rusty and Newman teammates. Ward Burton, the cat car in 10th spot.
First car rolls in a couple of moments. It'll be Tony Stewart out when we come back. NASCAR continues on TNT tonight at 8 Eastern time as Cat Rental Stores presents the NASCAR Busch Series race from here in Thunder Valley. Then tomorrow, coverage of the Sharpie 500 starts at 7 o'clock Eastern time with Discover Card Countdown to Green.
And you know, Alan and I talked last weekend, and we talked about the caution flags for tonight's 250-lap Busch race. And I had the over-under at 10 cautions. Is that, what do you think?
Average has been 8.
8? So 10 is a little over.
10's a little on the over.
Oh, we'll see at least. What do you think, Wally? At least 10 caution flags?
Yes. I'm betting
I'll tell you the thing I was watching most carefully earlier in the week, the full moon. Making sure it was passed by tonight. Jimmy Spencer is racing tonight. Is he going to be involved in any of those cautions, Marty?
Are you going to be involved in those cautions tonight, or are you going to just cause them?
I'm not going to be involved, and I'm not going to cause them.
Okay, so the over-under is 10, Benny says. What do you think on cautions tonight?
Oh, he's a little shallow. It'll probably be over 10.
Okay. Very good. All right. Now, you said you never forget. Did you forget what happened here in the spring?
No, you know, we ran really well in the Busch race, and it's a night race now. So there's, I love Bristol, you know, and we ran 4th and 2nd. And hopefully we can better the Busch race by 3 and better the Busch race by 1, the Cup race by 1.
How about the fun with your buddy Kurt Busch, though?
Oh, that's all old news, you know. That's been many, many, many moons ago. But, you know, that's all behind us now. And, you know, we're just looking forward to it. We got a pretty good car today. We'll see what qualifying holds for us. Track position is very critical at this racetrack.
So does that mean that Jimmy has forgotten and forgiven? Or been the other way around?
It's over. You know, we had a meeting in NASCAR hauler, and, you know, NASCAR explained to us where they were coming from, and I got the message, and we're on about our business.
Very nice. Now, you go out late, so that would be a benefit maybe a little bit to go out later today. Would you not assume so in qualifying?
I think so, especially now this little shower has really gotten it to us and knocked us in 45 minutes off of this deal, and it's going to play havoc on the Busch race start and probably the drivers meeting, things like that. But still, we had a good draw with the Team Target car, and we felt like that could be a little bit help because we saw last night the Busch cars picked up speed as the track cooled down. So hopefully we can use it to our advantage.
All right, real quick, Benny and Wally are hungry. What do we got to eat over here? We got some hot dogs.
Wait a minute. Wally, you didn't get a top 10 last week, so you can't get nothing.
Oh, wow.
Benny, look at this. We got fish.
Man, we're.
And chicken nuggets and all kind of neat stuff there.
Oh, hot dogs?
Oh, hot dogs. And then
you got the
morning, this is where he keeps his bacon and things like that. Oh, we still got some bacon from this morning.
Did TC cook that?
It'd be any good.
Yeah, TC did cook that, right?
Oh, man.
Oh, no. This is Arbus. Arbus is our big.
Arbus is the new guy.
Ooh. TC is the nutritionist.
Ah, he doesn't cook bacon. He would cook up some vitamins, right?
Oh, yeah, light chicken. You know, how is it, Wally, on the IndyCar circuit? They have that chicken with a light little oil
cordon bleu.
Chicken cordon bleu.
Chicken cordon bleu.
Okay, and then for us it would be fried chicken with gravy and grits and oh man, oh
good stuff. You're getting hungry.
I'm getting hungry, and it's you know past the time allotted for me now. So thanks for supporting us here, and I think we're gonna have a good weekend here at Bristol.
Wally just whispered one thing in my ear. By the way, where did you finish in the Busch race last week?
Ninth.
I did not whisper that. I knew. I saw him blowing by me.
I did finish ahead of you, Wally, but I'm going to tell you what, buddy, you did a good job for the first time back. I look forward to racing with you. Benny.
What?
I mean, there's this room for you.
Yeah, there is room for Benny.
I could fit in the car, Benny. I got plenty of Busch cars at the track. Darrell Waltrip still runs the truck series. We can get you in, Benny. You're the past champion. I know you can do it.
Okay, thank you very much, Jimmy. Appreciate it very much.
Well, take it up, Benny. I got a car for you.
Don't do me any favors, Jimmy.
All right, Matthew.
Well, Marty, Jimmy Spencer may not remember where he finished last week at Michigan. Kevin Harvick will tell you exactly where you've finished the last 2 night Busch races here. You've won.
Yeah, we've won the last 2 night Busch races here. We finished 2nd in the Winston Cup race. This place has been good to me and RCR, and it's just I enjoy coming here. It's an enthusiastic place and kind of fits my driving style. So it's a lot of fun, and I enjoy it, and we've been pretty fortunate to have a lot of success.
Now, we're going to see the kindler, gentler Kevin here at Thunder Valley.
Man, as long as we got all this other stuff going on, I'm flying under the radar, and I'm just going to do what I have to do to try and win a race and go home. So we'll have a good time and be the kindler, gentler ways about it.
Kevin Harvick, kind of a throwback weekend as the first car rolls. Double duty here at Thunder Valley.
This is Big Orange, except it's not orange this weekend. And if you look very carefully, you'll see Charlie Brown and Linus and Lucy and Snoopy on there somewhere, along with a great pumpkin.
All right, 15:62. Tony Stewart ran in practice. That was good enough for the 11th. Fastest time, a little loose off turn 2. We talked about these first few cars might be a tick loose.
Residue from the jet dryers. That's the assigned reason.
About the same speed as he practiced. He ran a 66 in his qualifying lap.
Oh, that's big loose.
Tony, the pole sitter for the night race in 1999. He won the race 1 year ago.
All right.
A little quicker. About very little.
Very little, yes.
not quicker enough.
Not quicker enough.
Tony with a first and a second the last 2 weeks. See if he can keep his run going and his assault on the Winston Cup Championship tomorrow night in the Sharpie 500. There you go. There's Linus and Snoopy and old Chuck.
Linus, he's the one with the blanket, right?
Yep.
Security blanket.
Yep. Very good.
Yeah.
BP does pop culture. All right, Dale Jarrett will be next up.
Alan usually has a blanket, security blanket.
We'll see the guy
I need some sort of security in my life.
The guy running down to Tony Stewart's car to get the tire temperatures after his qualifying run, he just run through a water puddle, so I don't think the reading's going to be too accurate. All right, DJ. Let's see, he ran a 62 as well. All right, we'll see. It's not moving.
Maybe the rain got to it.
Yep. Looks like a pretty good lap.
Oh, right front smoke there, like the fender got down on the tire when he
yes.
into the corner. See that?
Was a good lap. Just a tick quicker than he ran in practice. In practice, he ran 15.62. Here he ran 15.
Oh! As he got through 1 and 2, it looked like better on that second lap, but he lost it all right there in 3 and 4.
So you can see how much of a slip that was. That was 0.3 of a second. 1/3 of a second. All right, Matt, what's Tony say about the racetrack?
Well, let's just talk to the Rushville Rocket. Tony, how was the racetrack after the rain and all the jet dryers?
I don't know. I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, it's just, you don't want to be the first guy out. That's the disadvantage. But, you know, it's just done off a draw. I mean, we just didn't draw a good number today. But, you know, you hate to have it happen at a place like this. It's really important here. So, I don't know. I mean, we'll see where we shake out. You know, I'm pretty excited. We got a cool new paint scheme this week. And
racing for peanuts?
Yeah. Seems like it some nights. But, no, we, you know, this is probably my favorite race of the year, is this night race. And, you know, like I said, we didn't draw a very good spot for qualifying. That kind of gets us behind the 8 ball to begin with. But we'll race really good here no matter where we qualify. This is the same car that we've always run really good here. And I'm pretty sure it's the same car we won here last year with. So pretty excited about this Pontiac.
It's an all-concrete car, and it is the same race car he won with here 1 year ago.
This is Tim Sauter, NASCAR Busch Series regular, trying to qualify Dave Marcus's car for tomorrow night Sharpie 500.
And I'll be very surprised if that 16.19 that he actually ran on the second lap a little bit faster. I'll be very surprised if that qualifies for tomorrow night's race.
Dale Jarrett's the early leader, just underway with Bud Pole qualifying in Bristol. Qualifying on TNT is brought to you by Stacker 2, the world's strongest fat burner. Burn fat, crush cravings, and supercharge your energy. By Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles and all-terrain vehicles. By Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with a crisp, clean, refreshing taste known only to the king of beers. And by Wendy's late-night pickup window, where you can eat great, even late.
All right, we have a new pole sitter. Ward Burton takes that cat car. He beats Jarrett by about 6/100ths of a second on the first lap, and that will be his lap of record, the first lap.
Ward winner of the pole for the most recent short track race at Richmond back in May, and he is on top of the stack now. Dave?
And DJ went for the pole. Wardy, of course, has gotten by now. Where does that lap end up by the time this is over, do you think, Dale?
Wow, you know, things are so close here, it's hard to predict, but that's faster than I ran. I picked up, so that's normally not what I do here, so I'm glad of that. If you look at it, I would think he's going to get in the top 15. Sun would come out, may even get in the top 10, but should be a decent starting spot.
He's hoping for more sun out here, guys, and so far he's getting it.
Green, green, green on Matt Kenseth.
There he is. And he's getting faster. Oh, he slowed down right in the middle of the corner, but he's back to green. Whole speed, it looks like. Oh, it's so close.
Wow, just missed it.
Just missed it by about 0.04 of a second. And he's slower this lap.
Yeah, a lot of these guys will go faster on the first lap, and that's why it's so important, because you get the green first time by. So you really have to hustle the car up to speed when you come out. It's real important.
Matt Kenseth, only driver with 3 top 10 finishes in the season's first 3 short track races, and he's second fastest right now, just behind Ward Burton. Bill Elliott has a pretty impressive little run going in qualifying here lately, guys. Listen to this. He's qualified 4th or better in the last 5 straight races.
And in practice, he ran a 52. That would be good enough. Ward Burton actually ran a 52. Look at this. He's 8/10. He's flew
through turn 1 and 2.
Yes, he did. Right now, still in the green. Green is good. Green is still good. Still good. Still. No, he's losing something. It's going to be close.
Got it. Bill Elliott, fastest qualifier so far.
It looks like the first lap is going to be the best lap for these cars, as we see Elliott slowing down on the second lap.
15.492 seconds. Lap number 1 for Bill Elliott puts him at the head of the class in Bud Pole qualifying at Bristol.
This Sunday, which play takes over TNT? See every episode back-to-back and don't miss the drama of which play. This Sunday, noon to 11. Only on TNT.
Bud Pole qualifying from Bristol on TNT. 6 drivers have run so far. The 7th is Bobby Labonte and Joe Gibbs body guy. Remember, his teammate Tony Stewart was the first car out. Tony right now is 5th out of the 6 drivers that have gone.
And Bobby's awfully close. Going to be big. Oh, just missed it. Moves into the 4th spot right now. And he missed the pole by about 0.05 of a second, and he's 4th. And this is a much slower lap than the first. As we go inside our TNT pace chase.
So lap 1 again, the better of the 2, and Bobby Labonte settles into that 4th spot out of 7 drivers that have gone so far.
7 cars have qualified so far. The first 6 are separated by 15/100ths of a second.
Here comes Hermie Sadler in the 0-2.
Hermie struggled in practice, 38th best. Looks like he's going to have to run about 1570 to qualify.
He's going to make his 6th Winston Cup start so far this season. His best qualifying has been a 30th place back at Richmond.
They want, if he can stay there at 12, he's got it. Oh, he got it too high down in 3 and 4.
You can't give up 3/10 here.
No. All right, let's try it. Keep it on the bottom, Hermie. Now he's slowing down. He's losing grip the second lap.
Only one word to describe that.
One word?
Trouble.
Oh, okay.
That's going to be trouble if he wants to get in there. I know you were looking for 3 words.
I know.
All right. Matt?
And Al, I've caught up with Bill Elliott currently on the pole. Bill, you picked up about a 10th. Did you think you would get more than that, or was that what you expected?
You never know here. I mean, this is a racetrack that you can lose a 10th easier than you can gain it. We'd run pretty decent in practice, and now we just need to try to back it up. We backed it up and gained just a little bit on it, but you know, time will tell. There's still a lot of good cars left, and just, you know, hopefully we can get on the front straightaway.
He tested here, and his last pole came in 1991 here at Bristol.
So he made the comment, get in on the front straightaway. Really and truly, there's not an advantage.
Oh, hang on,
hang on, baby.
If he could do that at Bristol and not hit anything, that's pretty impressive.
Now he's probably going to go turn back around.
I don't know. We'll see what happens here. He might have flat spotted those tires too. What's he going to do?
He's either going to turn back around to get another running start, or he's going to the garage area. He's going to turn around, get him a running start.
Yep.
Once again, he has not crossed the start-finish line, so he'll go all the way back around to turn 1 and start. This is going to be the part.
Don't cross the start-finish line. Just turn around and get going. You can still do it.
This will be a slow lap.
This will be a very slow lap, yeah. The clock, as a matter of fact, the clock is still running. Remember that, folks.
Where's pace chase when you need it?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. 47.8.
And it's still rolling. Still running.
Purple power.
All right, here we go.
He's got some heat in the tires now.
As you say, what do you think those tires feel like?
You don't want to think about that.
Funk, 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 funk.
Not so bad on the concrete.
like it. Yeah, he doesn't like the way they feel.
Got a flat.
Got a flat, he said.
All right.
Apparently a flat tire on the
So Ken Schrader's going to have to give it up, send him back to provisional land. He'll have a long way to go to get to the front in the Sharpie 500 Saturday night.
Come up that second corner, and he's trying to get low, keep it low, but got her sideways. You see when he locks the tires down and locks the brakes down, slides the tires, that's when he probably flat spotted and caused the tire to go flat.
Todd Bodine on track now in his Bud Bowl qualifying run. Discover Card Machine, couple of Busch Series wins here, top 10 qualifying runs the last 2 times he raced here in the Winston Cup car.
Todd runs good here.
Yep.
And that first lap was a huge improvement over his practice speeds, about 0.15 of a second. And that will be the lap of record, 15.647. He's 6th, but only about 15/100ths of a second slower than the pole speed.
And so Todd's 30 seconds of terror are over. He'll go back and regroup. Now it's Dan Cope's turn. Cope driving his 49 car from BAM Racing once again this week here at Bristol.
Had a great run in practice. He was 16th best in this car. What did I say? Billy race tires?
Yep.
Quarterfinals?
Derek looking to make his 4th start.
A little bit high there.
Of this season.
He's hanging in there about 1/10 of a second. Can't lose too much more, Derek. That's not bad. Oh, a little bit sideways.
You see the difference in the color of the concrete up against the outside wall that first couple of feet or so versus what's the most of the racetrack is. That was where the retaining wall used to be.
I tell you what, that was a great second lap.
It was. I think he got a little bit too high there in 1 and 2 in that first lap, and that cost him a little bit. Because you're right, BP. He looked like he got through better, especially in 3 and 4 on the second lap.
He was 0.03 of a second faster on the second lap, and we've seen all the cars have slowed down about 1/10. So, and Cope currently 8th best.
Out of 11 that have run so far.
It's unbelievable. He's 8th best and only 18/100ths of a second slower than the pole speed of Bill Elliott.
Pieces beginning to fall into place for Ricky Rudd and the other silly season participants for next season. Rudd and the Wood brothers announcing Tuesday he'll go to drive the 21 car next year. How about here at Bristol today?
You see right now he's gaining off the corner. This is going to be a pretty good lap.
5th quick.
And watch down the straightaway. He loses a little time right in the middle of the corner, but he gets back on the throttle, comes off this corner. Here's the green, back to the red. Down, that's close.
It'll be 5th out of 12 for Rudd.
Almost identical laps, just 4/1000ths of a second different in the laps.
Bud Bowl qualifying on TNT from Bristol. We're back in a minute.
Bristol qualifying continues. Ken Schrader had an eventful qualifying run. Ken, was that tire gone during your lap? Is that why you spun?
No, I killed the tire when I spun and locked up the brakes. The little car was good, and traditionally here we qualify decent, but I don't get enough of it on my first lap. I was going to get it on my first lap, and it felt good through 3 and 4, and it was real good in 1 and 2, but I just pushed it too hard and didn't get it gathered up.
Now, don't say he wasn't going for it, guys, because he certainly was today.
Here's Jerry Nadeau on the track now.
And you see he's about 1/4 of a second slower than the pole sitter, and he's going to end up back in the 10th spot.
10th out of 13 so far, so he's going to be way in the back.
He's exactly 1/4 of a second, and he's 10th best. Man.
Talking with Ken Schrader just a second ago. Here's another look at what happened to him when he made his qualifying run.
That looks like that right at the point where you jump on the gas hard to get off that corner. And he got behind on the steering.
And right here is where he talks about locking the brakes down and sliding across the racetrack. And
it looked like the left front probably is the one that blew or went down.
Brett Bodine out now. He's going to make his 30th start here at Bristol in Saturday night's race.
2/10 of a second slower than the pole speed on that first lap. And right now, pretty good. He's got it going at less than a 10th. Now his wheel starts moving as he goes in the corner. Not a bad lap, though.
He picked up on that second lap.
Did 15.662. That puts Brett Bodine in the 9th position.
9th out of 14. That'll get him, 25th or so when we go to the green here tomorrow night. Maybe a little farther back than that, but not bad. Next up, John Andretti. Richard Petty's Dodge. Andretti's had some good qualifying here the last couple of races. 4th this race a year ago, 10th back in the spring. And his best starts of this season, a pair of second-place runs in Texas and Charlotte.
Boy, I tell you what, no sooner did he get that in turn 1 and he lost some time, but since turn 1, he's able to maintain going into corners where he seems to be, Andretti seems to be losing the time. That lap about a 1/3 of a second slower.
He really drops that car down on the apron getting off of 2, doesn't he?
Oh, got a bit loose going in 3, and we saw him have to get off the throttle. It cost him some time.
All those stats I was giving you for John a minute ago, they're not his. Those are for Elliott Sadler. Elliott has been excused from his place in the qualifying line.
And you lost your place, huh?
And I lost my place.
That has got to be embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for you.
Oh, well. So John Andretti is done 13th out of 15, and he's probably going to be a little embarrassed there, too. Dave?
And Ricky Rudd just asked me if I got my microphone fixed. The answer, of course, is yes. And we're going to ask you, was your car what you expected there, or better or worse?
Well, that's actually a little better than we practiced. A little bit too tight in the center. And, I mean, you're talking about hundreds and thousands of a second here. Everybody's so close. But if I had to do it all over again, I wish we could free the car up just a little bit more in the center of the corner. And probably would have been about another 1/10 of a second quicker, which could be the difference in, say, 12th or 15th versus, say, 2nd or 3rd. So we're happy. This Avalon Taurus is tuned up. Should race good.
He's in the show. His guys are already going to work preparing it for final practice later on today. Alan?
Oh, that was so close. Benson, 3rd best on his first lap. It's green, green, green. Still green. Oh, he's back to the red. And he's losing some time. Back to the garage. So close.
What's it going to be?
No, outside pole.
Not bad. Second fastest for Johnny Benson, 13/100ths of a second. He just missed bumping Bill Elliott off the Bud pole. 16 of 47 cars have made their Bud pole qualifying runs at Bristol Motor Speedway. Here comes number 17, which is actually number 27.
I said, looks like a 27 to me. And 17 is Matt Kenseth, don't you remember?
Scott Wimmer. Bill Davis Racing. Looking to do double duty. Wimmer in the NASCAR Busch Series race tonight, which you'll see starting at 8 o'clock Eastern time here on the TNT.
And he's got a good lap going. Losing some time up in 3 and 4. But getting back off 4. Not bad. 12th spot.
Wimmer has attempted to qualify twice already this season. Chicago and Indy failed to get into both of those races. He's got one Winston Cup start under his belt at Atlanta in November of 2000.
So the second lap will be slower. First lap, 15.679. Puts him in the 12th position.
He's ahead of 5 guys. That's going to be enough to get him in the race.
Yeah.
Be pretty close. Sterling Marlin is next, the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship leader. We checked the standings coming into the Sharpie 500 and find things are really, really close.
Really, really close.
Last year at this time, see that gap back to 9th place Matt Kenseth, 295. It was 298 from 1st to 2nd this time a year ago.
All right, here's Sterling Marlin. Hey, down the backstretch for a second. He flirted with the green. This is not bad. Uh-oh, losing a little time up in 3 and 4. He comes off. This is not a bad lap.
10th quick.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Sterling's average qualifying this season is 21st, so he'll be right in the ballpark of that.
And he's losing some time on this second lap. He'll take the first one at 15.660, 10th best. Hey, Matt, Benson got awfully close, didn't he?
He sure did, Benny, and on pace for his best career start here at Bristol. But more importantly now, where do you pick, the front stretch or the back stretch for your pit stall for tomorrow night?
I think 8's the best I ever qualified here, but that was a long time ago. And James Ensign and guys really helped me out this week and trying to figure out just different areas, different stuff to do. And after arm wrestle, I bet James wants to back again. So, but I'll support whatever he wants to do. I mean, it'll be a team decision for sure.
It sure will. His best start here, like you mentioned, in 8, holding on to second at this juncture, Alan.
While we watch Kevin Harvick, let's talk about that. The pole winner's going to pick the first pit spot on the front stretch pit road, but there's a lot of talk that the second fastest guy may pick the first pit stall on the backstretch pit road.
Really only have 4 good pit stalls here at the end of both pit roads. And the exit of either pit road is the best spots, are the best spots.
Happy Harvick, what's it going to be? A little off pace there.
You see the first lap
at
15.639, 8th best. It's amazing he's just 14/100ths of a second slower than the pole speeder. Pole speed. Pole speed.
I know what you were
trying
to say. So check out, here is the layout of pit road here at Bristol.
This is this is the front stretch pit, and they got one just like that on the back stretch. 42 pits, 21 on either side.
And where you pick has been much discussed here during the day today. Steve Park.
Oh, that hurt. That hurt. Can't get him that sideways on your qualifying lap. That's 2 or 3 tenths you lay down right there that you've lost.
And he caught too much of the apron going in turn 3 of that left front and got him loose. Let's see if he catches that apron again. Boy, they used a lot of that apron on coming off 2.
Better there, but still off the speed, as you see on pace chase. And that's only going to get Park 16th out of 20 in that pole qualifying. 47 cars here all told, so we're approaching the midway point of today's time trial session. Jeff Green is next out on track.
Join me tomorrow night at TNT Discover Car Countdown to Green. Be here at 7 o'clock, and I'll teach you how to get around this place we call Bristol. Back to you, Alan.
Wow. Well, I don't know if I'll teach you how to get around. I don't know how to get around this place, but sure was fun anyway.
Wally's World, Dave discovers, and more on Discover Car Countdown to Green tomorrow night.
Didn't this car sit on the pole here last year for this race?
I don't think was it on the pole or outside?
No, it was on the pole. Yep. And
Jeff gets around this place good.
Yeah, and he was only running a handful of races last year, so it was pretty much an upset special. Got a good qualifying run now, 7th fastest on that first lap.
And he will end up being 7th best, yes.
7 out of 21 for Jeff Green, who will also be in tonight's NASCAR Busch Series race. Remember, he won the Spring Busch Series race here back in March. So he does get around here quite well.
Yes, he does. Very, very well.
All right, this is Lance Hooper. Driving Junie Donlevy's number 90 car, former NASCAR Winston West Series champion. Looking to make a go of it at Bristol this weekend.
Junie Donlevy wanted to come to the racetrack, and Lance and Richard Jackson and the guys at Lucas Oil put the deal together to bring the 90 cars over here.
See what he's able to do. In his qualifying run, he was 46th out of 47 in practice.
He struggled. And he was 20th best
out of 22 here.
And that's not going to help get him loose off turn 2.
And checkered flag up for Hooper, and he is going to remain 20th fastest out of 22. Using Junie Donlevy's number, they'll have some owner points to fall back on, so they may be in provisional land here tomorrow night. It's going to be really interesting to see who gets these provisionals at the end of this thing. Mentioned the Busch Series race. Ken Reynolds Stores presenting our coverage tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Jason Keller, one of the principals in that tight fight for the Busch Series championship, is on pole for that race.
All right, here's a guy that's got a shot. Seems like every time he qualifies anywhere, he has a shot. 5th best in practice. He's already about a 500 slower. 4, 5. Hanging in there. Oh, lost some time going in 3. Not a bad lap. That's going to put him in the 7th spot. Can he pick it up on this lap? Oh, it's close.
Look at
Green.
that.
Green, green. Still green. Oh, back to red. Got a lot of time to make. Back to green. This may be. Oh, he's side. Ooh, did you see that dirt dragging off the corner?
6/100ths of a second shy. And that 6/100ths of a second is going to leave him 6th. Unbelievably tight the qualifying is here. I think for the Busch Series race tonight, the spread from 1st to 36th is only a half a second in qualifying.
It's going to be less than that for this group of cars. Looks like it'll be about a 1/4 of a second between 1st and 36th.
Dave Blaney up next in the 77 car. His 8th place qualifying run you saw in that graphic there, his best ever short track qualifying effort.
And check this out. He's right there at 5/100ths of a second. 6.
Oh, really sideways.
Yeah.
2 sideways.
Okay, now is he going to pull the?
He can.
He can. He can go all the way back around to 1. Get him another running start.
Oh yeah, hang that left, go back the other way.
That's Blaney saying his tires got to be flat spotted.
He doesn't want to do this again. He got in really good. Too good. Jumps on the throttle, just came around on him. But he did carry a lot of speed into 3.
Yeah, the problem is he didn't carry it back out of 4.
Yeah, got to carry it off, too.
Yeah. Okay, he's back around to turn 2. Pull another Huey. And then try it again. Now, the reason that they're able to do this is because we have 2-lap qualifying and they haven't taken the white flag yet. So this is still his first lap. He hasn't come to the start-finish line to complete that first-time lap.
And now you got to do this all over again. You're going, why did I get sideways that first time?
Yeah, it's awfully hard to grab it in the corner this lap.
And
as
get a
hard
good
as
lap.
you need to, exactly. Yeah, you can see he's 1/3 of a second slower already than the pole speed.
He left a lot of confidence down there in turn 4 in that lap.
21st out of 24 for Dave Blaney after lap 1 basically ruined his 2-lap qualifying effort. Halfway through time trials here at Bristol.
Qualifying for the Sharpie 500 continuing here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Points leader Sterling Marlin took his laps just a little while ago. He's debriefing right now with Lee McCall, his crew chief. Sterling, you picked up, but you made some changes to your car. Did you go too far and a good thing?
Yeah, we went too far. We was really loose when in practice and just had to do something to pick up. We're usually pretty good here at Bristol, and we just was way too loose and got a little too tight qualifying. That really hurts you here, so we'll get her dialed in for the race.
All right, something he can never have too much of is a points lead. He is still the points leader at this point in the season, guys.
Nemechek, that first lap, 10th best, and wheels going the wrong way right now.
And Joe is loose the first lap, and I was just going to say, usually when you're loose on the first lap, it's going to be worse on the second lap.
Here's a guy who needs something good to happen. He has crashed in 4 of the last 7 races this summer. Really needs something good to happen this weekend.
And he's 10th best, and he's about 12/100ths of a second slower than the pole speed. You can't clap your hands that fast.
Carl Long is out next in his 51 car. Driver from Roxborough, North Carolina, looking to crack the field once again here this weekend.
Did you see the other day where Roxborough's most famous citizen passed away? Enos Country Slaughter.
Oh, yeah.
Baseball player.
This is the Rick Ware team that had run the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series over the last few years.
Carl is sliding all over this racetrack right now. This is not going to be a very good lap.
23rd out of 26 right now. Oh, he won last.
Well, no.
You got to look for the positives in this.
I guarantee you, he feels like he's on the pole.
But he's got to pick up about a half second. not. Picked up a little bit, though. Picked up 6 100ths.
23rd of 26 for Carl Long, Dave.
And I'm standing by with Ryan Newman, who was in the green for most of that lap. What happened down there at the end of your lap?
Just trying real hard. Like I told you before, sometimes you catch the bumps right, sometimes you catch them wrong, and I just tried too hard in the wrong spot, and obviously it was going to be a good lap. We still ran a 55 at the line, but just a good run for the all-tail forward. We'll see how things go in race trim.
Is that a bump you know is there, Ryan, or is that something you tried to get through or something that you ended up at?
Well, the biggest thing is you're trying to work with the apron. You come across the apron on the eggs of the corners, and you hit it with the left front, and if you hit with the left front, not the left rear, it's going to turn the car. So you got to hit it just right. And, I think I might have missed it just a little bit.
All right, he was close, guys. Ryan will start way up in the field, though.
He's 6th fastest right now out of 27 drivers. Here's the guy who qualified on the outside of the front row for the spring race, Robbie Gordon. Nice save.
That's going to cost him. And the shock guys here are real important. It's real important to get a good shock package here, like Ryan was talking. It's all about the shocks being able to run on that apron and not really upset the car.
Got a good lap going. Very good lap going. Yeah, he's down about 1500s. Had a good lap going in 3, but the place he had the trouble the last time, he's probably a little gun shy this time, and it cost him. He's back to 17th best.
Plus, with 2-lap qualifying, when you have a problem in 3 and 4 coming to the white flag, it also messes up your momentum to start that second lap.
Right.
So he was in a hole when he started that second lap. 17th out of 27, probably not too bad considering. And now it's Mike Wallace out on track in AJ Foyt's car.
All right. He's off and running. Wheels going the wrong way. Not too bad. Ooh. Less than a 10th on the backstretch.
This is a team that is 40th in owner points, so they...
Oh, this is a good lap for Mike Wallace.
They need to get in the top 36 to be safe. And that should do it. 19th on lap 1 for Mike.
Still looking pretty good. Well, a little time here. Might be a little quicker. It was a little quicker. 4 100ths of a second.
15.684. Mike Wallace, 19th of 28 so far. Bud Pole qualifying on TNT from Bristol. We'll come back with more in a minute. Back at Bristol Motor Speedway with Bud Pole qualifying on TNT. Here comes Kyle Petty out onto the track. He had a little trouble getting started. A little push to get going, and now he takes the green flag to start his 2 laps around Bristol. Those 30 seconds of terror.
You know, as much money as they spend on race cars, starters have always been the weakest link on a race car. Because once they say, gentlemen, start your engines and you get them started, they really don't matter. So they really don't. They've never had a good handle on starters.
Good lap for Kyle. It's 11th quick.
As you say, a lot of times race cars don't even carry starters.
Yeah.
That was a good lap for Kyle, wasn't it? Yep.
Started 35th, finished 12th here back in March. He's going to start a lot farther forward than that 35th today. He's 11th out of 29 right now for Kyle Petty. Good run.
15.624. Let's see. We have a 618, 624, 639, 647, 648. Just how close they are. And here's a kid that had a very, very good lap in practice. Casey Atwood. 22nd best.
Got a birthday coming up on Sunday.
Oh, yeah, he's going to be real old. How old is that?
Yeah, not very. How about 22?
And we've got it going. 7 100 slower. 3 2 1 is in the green. Down close, but no cigar.
And that 83 hundredths of a second still leaves him 8th. I know it's always close here, but this seems like it's even closer than normal.
And you see he breathed. You see how slow he was on that second lap? He breathed.
You can't breathe on qualifying.
Casey, you can't breathe, man.
He decided to only go for 15 seconds of terror. Dave?
And we're down with Dale Jr. just getting ready to buckle up and put his helmet on. Jeff Green talking to you. You guys swapping ideas here?
Nah, he ran into the back of my car last week, and I told him that's the first time he ever hit me. I was wondering if anything was wrong with him.
and he said his car pushed some in qualifying. I was wondering if he run in the back of anybody between practice and now. So he said no, but just having a little fun. He used to drive for us back in the Busch series, and he's a real good friend of the Uris and everybody. And hopefully we got something with his Budweiser Chevrolet. Ran a good lap in practice, but it's a little bit cooler than this, and it's rained, and the sun's come out, and it's a lot hotter now. So just get a good starting spot, hopefully in the top 10, top 15, where we don't really have to use pit strategy.
There you go. He'll adapt his driving just a little bit. Go for these fast 2 laps in just a minute, guys.
Okay, rewind the memories to all those stats I talked about with John Andretti's a little while ago.
Yeah, I wasn't listening anyway.
Elliott, you never do. Elliott Sadler has qualified 4th and 10th his last 2 times here. And the race before that, he started 38th and wound up in victory lane at the end of the day.
Well, he's not going to be 4th or 10th this time.
Whoa, he caught that apron too.
Yep.
Watch the wall, watch the wall. No.
That's going to leave a mark.
Man.
Now that is not too good.
That's not too good.
23rd fastest on his first lap for Elliott out of 31. But when he crossed the bottom of turn 2, it looked like he caught maybe just a little too much of that apron, the paved apron versus the concrete track.
Can't really tell by that shot.
It's a good shot. And watch, I thought maybe he might get away with just keep on sliding down the racetrack, but what if that means backup?
There we go. See, he drops the left front, gets the left rear.
Yeah, that's too much apron.
I was going to say, he may even bottom the car out. Then he got a lot of wheel spin getting off.
Got a lot of spin right there.
A lot of smoke.
He tries to keep it going around, and he does. But now I said, oh, this thing's got to stop. Please stop. Oh, come on. No. Yeah, that's a backup, don't you think?
I don't know. You see, can he get down there? He may. I think if you get down there that far, I don't know what you think, BP. Could the cross member hit the bottom out on the track if you're uneven like that?
Good.
Another phrase some of these guys like to use, maybe it applies here, de-wedge. Got the car down there and half on the apron, half on the bank there, and maybe unloaded it a little bit.
It could be. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if he bottomed something out, having the car at that angle like that, half on the apron, half on the track.
So Elliott Sadler is qualified 23rd out of 31 now, but he may need the backup car for the Sharpie 500. Back at Bristol, they have towed away Elliott Sadler's car from the backstretch, and we're back underway with Mike Skinner now in Bud Pole qualifying. Team announced this morning that they'll be running Pontiacs next season. Morgan McClure Racing, based in nearby Abington, Virginia.
And Mike gets around here pretty good, too.
Yes, he does. Now, verify for me, these are Mike's stats I'm about to say.
Yes, they are.
Hey, get close to that green now. He's close, he's close.
It's coming down.
Coming down. No, he's not going to get it, but he's close.
Good lap, though. Ain't quick.
Yep. Mike qualified 2nd and 5th for the last 2 races here.
Oh, he's going to give that one away.
Yeah. All right, he'll end up being 8th best so far.
8th out of 32 for Mike. And the time is 15.565. Very good lap. Good effort. Dave?
Well, Jeff Green's watching all these guys run fast with the cloud cover now, but I want to know, in the interest of presenting both sides of the story there, Junior said y'all were talking about last week a little bit, and you might have gotten into his car a little bit?
Well, he was, anytime I run on Dale Jr., I feel pretty good. So I got, I was running up high. I think everybody knew that, and got a good run off the corner about every time I come off, and I had some speed on some of those guys, and I was able to push them down the straightaway. So we just having a little bit of fun here. I think we can't do that here, so it's a little bit different racetrack here.
You were on the pole last year, Jeff. How good is your car this year?
Well, I think we're pretty good. We just missed it a little bit there. It's a little bit too tight to qualify, but from what the car's driving, it's driving like it was last year, so hopefully that'll mean good things. Just need to finish. We didn't finish last year. Been gaining on our program every week. All 3 cars have with RCR, so hopefully we can keep doing that and have a good run tomorrow night.
All right, he's currently 10th on the board, guys.
Green, green, green. Here we go. Jeremy Mayfield. No, got a little bit too high down in 3 and 4.
Kind of lost the nose there a little bit right in the center of the corner, but still pretty good. 6th fastest for Mayfield out of 33. Those 9 and 19 cars are right up there. The Abraham cars 1st and 6th right now, and Casey Atwood not all that far behind.
And the young man turns 22 on Sunday, still can't legally run a car, but you're hoping to hold on to a top 10 here in qualifying, but you can feel that temperature dropping.
Yeah, standing here talking to you, the sun went in. I guess it went behind the grandstand, so times are going to start picking up. But that should put us in the top 20 pretty easy, I think. So we just need to get the serious dodge and keep it out of trouble on Saturday night. I always like this race, and I think I can stay out of trouble and get a good finish.
You said you feel where the car got a little bit loose, Alan, off turn 4.
Hey, Matt, did he say a dark cloud follows you around everywhere you go?
No, Benny, he says a dark cloud follows him around everywhere he goes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I mentioned.
I'm from Florida, Benny. All we have is sunshine.
Oh, okay.
Not lately.
Martin, 14th best that first lap. And that will be the first lap, will be the fastest of the two.
Mark second in points, coming in 43 behind Sterling Marlin, and he'll have a midfield starting grid position for the Sharpie 500.
Well, he's starting 5 spots in front of Sterling right now.
He's got to keep finishing 5 spots in front of Sterling if he's going to take that top spot in points away. Again, you know, Sterling has led the points since the second week of the season. It's hard to believe that nobody's gotten up there and taken it away in all that time. There's a dynamic duo for many years.
Ray said, man, what a break you caught. Clouds came over, it's cooled off. I need a coat.
I need a coat. Yeah, I don't know about that, but.
Here's Ricky Craven on track now in the Tide Ride.
Got through there good.
And we see just 3, 100, 4, 5. Boy, that wheel's going, stop, wheel. It is. It's coming back to the green. Yo, so close.
Third quick.
24 hundredths of a second off, and that's third fastest.
I think that'll be it, because he got a pretty big wiggle down there, 1 and 2 that lap.
And he spun out the first lap on the racetrack today, I think. Didn't hit anything. I think kind of like Schrader did down the backstretch in the Elliott Sadler car, but Craven was lucky, didn't make contact with the wall or other cars.
But he'll be happy with that. Third fastest right now.
Man. Good job. Good job, everybody. Appreciate the hard work.
It's Mike Beam, the crew chief there, talking to Craven, letting him know where he is. Mike Skinner, 10th fastest right now. Let's hear from him.
And I'll talk about a lot of pressure, the home track for Morgan McClure. You're going to go to another manufacturer, but you want to end this year with a win here. The Chevy, what better place?
We sure would. We'd like to see Kodak get back to victory lane, Morgan McClure racing, and you know, we've struggled a lot. We're working on this car pretty hard today. We started out in race trim, and the car's real tight in the center of the corner, and still is. So we got a lot of work to do, but if we can get this thing to turn right there, come off this corner straight, we can race on Saturday.
New second place runner in qualifying, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
And he's very close on this lap. He could come off perfectly, I'd say perfectly off this corner. He might do it. No, not quite.
Wow.
He did. He's on the pole. 15.482, and the fans are going nuts as Junior on his second lap knocks Elliott off.
His first lap, we went down into turn 1. That car bounced so hard.
I saw it. Both times he went into turn 1, the car looked like it really bottomed out, like he had really, really soft rear springs in that car.
Here's Bobby Hamilton now, 55 car. His best qualifying run this season was his second at Martinsville.
And this, we see our TNT pace chase. That is based on the lap of Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Looks like he's got his hands full right there.
And this is he had a good lap going till he got to turn 3.
I quit.
That's enough of that.
That's it. So Hamilton 27th out of 37 after his 1 lap. And Kurt Busch will be next on track. How about Dale Earnhardt Jr.? 2 100ths of a second he beat Bill Elliott by, Matt.
Well, Junior, how would you describe that effort?
Really, really good. I'm really proud of my team. Tony Jr. and all the guys, they worked real hard on the setup during practice. We were about 30 fast when we found some things from other teammates, Steve Parker, Michael, and the Napa Chevrolet. All those people kind of helped make this happen. Hopefully Steve gets a good run and Michael gets a good run. I don't know what Steve ran, but real happy. Get stuff's happened to us, man. We really they've tried to turn it around last 2 or 3 weeks, and we're really focusing on trying to build us a system that works for us really good next year.
How on the edge were you?
I wasn't on the edge at all. My car was a little bit tight. Some things that we did, changes a lot of springs and some shocks and stuff, really give this car a lot of bite, a lot of grip. Just didn't get too tight.
Kurt Busch, good run.
Great run, first lap. 4/100ths of a second slower than Junior, but we see he's back in 5th. All right, Dave, who you caught up to now?
Ricky Craven, whose best qualifying effort previous to this was a 4th back in '96. How about that run? It sounded like you might have hit every mark except one on the track, right?
Yeah, I missed one, I guess. Probably the middle of the corner was the weak link for the Tide Ford. But it was a good improvement from practice. And, you know, where you make your money in this deal is the decisions you make based on practice, and they made some great decisions. But Mike and the gang have been doing it all year, so I've come to expect it. They've really done a great job for this team.
All right, pretty good lap for Ricky Craven.
Here's Morgan Shepherd now. 4 Busch Series wins here at Bristol, but he's wrestling that thing around here now.
He is, I think the word is struggling.
Trying to make the car turn in the corners because it obviously doesn't want to. And that'll leave him 37th out of 39. And not quite able to get into the 15-second bracket. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has shaken up the leaderboard. He's out in front of Bill Elliott in Bud Pole qualifying at Bristol. Bud Pole qualifying on TNT is brought to you by Stacker 2, the world's strongest fat burner. Burn fat, crush cravings, and supercharge your energy. By Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles and all-terrain vehicles. By Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with a crisp, clean, refreshing taste known only to the king of beers. And by Wendy's late-night pickup window, where you can eat great, even late.
Well, Jimmy looks like he's got a handful, too. Car got real loose in 3 and 4. Right in the middle.
Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car.
I'll tell you one thing, if our TNT pace chase is right, well, evidently we're having some troubles with our pace chase about Mike Johnson on turn 4. A little bit loose.
Yeah, he was, like I said, to lose the first lap. If you lose the first lap, it's going to be worse the second lap.
Johnson 28th out of 40. Okay, 27th out of 40. He was in a tie with Mike Wallace for that spot, and he gets the tiebreaker based on points.
And he and Mike Wallace ran exactly the same speed to the 1,000th of a second.
Here comes Jeff Burton.
But we still, Junior's on the pole right now, but 2 of the fastest cars in practice are still to go. Jeff Gordon and Rusty Wallace.
Good luck going to Burton here.
Looks like he had a little trouble just getting into 3. Oh, he slid hard. See, now, he slid hard coming off before, so like we were talking about earlier, although it's pretty green right now, the heart is loose.
Let's see if he's able to boost it up on that lap.
No, did not. First lap, 15.769, good for 31st. So far, Carl Long, Lance Hooper, Morgan Shepherd, Tim Sauter, and Ken Schrader, the cars that have been bumped out as fast as 36.
Jeff came on for that lap to get the white flag, and he was in a 4-wheel slide, and I'm sure that really killed the second lap.
Mikey's turn. Michael Waltrip going to start 3rd in the NASCAR Busch Series race tonight, 8 Eastern on TNT. After winning last Saturday at Michigan. Let's see what he can do here in the 15 car.
Well, pace chasing is saying green big time, but now it's coming back down to red. Almost gets the wall. Close. Very 4/1,000th of a second slower than Junior on the first lap. Junior was quicker on the second lap. Can Michael be? So far, doesn't look too good on 4.
A little bit slower on lap 2. Michael Waltrip makes it an all Dale Earnhardt Incorporated front row for the Sharpie 500.
You see the 15.486. Junior ran 15.482. All right, Burns, go.
Well, Benny, the winner from this spring is standing by with me. Kurt, you had a qualifying lap with a car as good this spring or not as good. What do you think?
It was surprisingly good. The car didn't turn all that well, and I've never qualified in the top 25 here, so obviously it's been a big jump for us. And all what the requests were from the Sharpie executives, Paul and Bob, is they wanted me on the front straightaway so they can see me from the suite as far as the pit box is concerned. So far, I did my job.
Brand new paint scheme.
Yeah, it's looking pretty Sharpie, isn't it?
It's looking very Sharpie, guys.
All right, new pole man.
Jeff Gordon has done it. 19 career starts here. His average starting spot is 5th. He gets it done at Bristol.
What makes you say that?
Want to know his average finishes?
So his first lap is a lap that does the job. 15.470. Junior was 15.482.
You know, both of his 2 poles this season have come on short tracks. Here at Bristol in March and then at Martinsville in April.
Got through 1 and 2. Just, I don't think you can get through 1 and 2 any better.
All right, but will it last long?
Yeah, that's right. Can Rusty Wallace in his blue deuce knock him off the pole?
7 poles here at Bristol.
Hermie Sadler, the 0-2 car, is now on the bubble as far as making it on speed. Man, he picked that throttle up in a hurry, didn't he? It's close. It's very, very close. It's green. It's red. It's green. It's very, very close. Not quite.
4th fastest for Rusty Wallace. Another lap to go. This one looking as spiffy as the last one did. And row 2 for Rusty Wallace, 9-time Bristol winner. He'll be a threat in that Sharpie 500. Matt?
Well, Michael, the DEI colors were flying strong there on the front row, and then the 24 came by and spoiled your party.
That's okay. We're real proud of our qualifying effort. Slugger and Tony Jr. and all the boys on the 8, they worked real well together, and we figured out a way to communicate and help our whole program. Our Napa Chevy, I knew we would qualify pretty good because I was real pleased with the way the car drove in practice. And I got a minimum block for the 2nd lap at Bristol. I can only run 1, and
really,
I can't make it work for 2 laps. And
mentally challenged?
Mentally blocked, not challenged. I'm probably just smart enough to handle this job, and that's about it. But just think, when I get done with this, I get to do what you're doing. So what's that say about you?
I don't know. I'd say I've got a full-time job, though, behind them, Mike. You're only part-time. You're a part-timer.
Yeah, but
that's too long of a response. You can't come back with anything better than that. You don't have game. You don't have any game, Walter. Get back here. You got no game.
Tell you what, Jimmy got through 1 and 2 really good, too, that first lap. Lost a little bit in 3. Hey, Dave, who you got now?
Well, Jeff Gordon is debriefing with his crew. Lots of handshakes and high fives going around. Jeff, you got your first pole here this spring. Sun's back out. What do you think? Will it hold?
I don't know. All I know is it was a really good lap for us. We didn't make any adjustments to it because we ran so good in practice. And, you know, the car was a little bit tight there, but I was able to get back in the gas. It turned real late for me and got off the corners down the straightaways real good. So, you know, we need a good, solid qualifying run. I mean, been struggling with qualifying, and I knew when we came here, short track, place us down the pole last time, we'd have a real good shot at it with the DuPont Chevrolet. So, proud of these guys. They worked hard for this one today.
Place you've won 4 times. Doesn't help to have it. It doesn't hurt to have the confidence here either, Alan.
Terry Labonte, 24th fastest on his first lap.
And that's where he's going to end up, 24th best. So Elliott Sadler, Steve Park, Hermie's been bumped. Right now, Jerry Nadeau is on the, Jeff Burton, the 99 car, is on the bubble. Can Hutch Strickland, the 23 car, knock him off? Because that is, ladies and gentlemen, the last car to qualify. Not that one. That red one just moving right there, 23.
So let's see where things come out for Strickland, who qualify and had to take a provisional to get in here at Bristol back in March.
Man, that's not good there. That hurt his get-go lap right there. That's probably a little bit sideways in the center 3 and 4.
So he's aiming for lap 2 already.
Yeah, yep, he really is. Got through pretty good there.
The first lap will not crack the top 36.
Oh, he's really sliding off the corners. One more to go.
Nope, not fast enough. Hutch Strickland outside the top 36, and he will be in provisional land for the Sharpie 500. That's it. We're all done. Jeff Gordon has won the pole here at Bristol. We'll come back with a look at the grid qualifying results in just a moment. Bud Pole qualifying on TNT is brought to you by Stacker 2, the world's strongest fat burner. Burn fat, crush cravings, and supercharge your energy. By Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles and all-terrain vehicles. By Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste known only to the king of beers. And by Wendy's late-night pickup window, where you can eat great even late. Bud Pole qualifying's over here at Bristol. Jeff Gordon has taken the top spot, third time in the 2002 season, second straight here at Bristol, and his 45th career Winston Cup Bud Pole Award.
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. will start on the outside. Waltrip and Rusty Wallace in row 2. Bill Elliott back in row 3. Jimmy Spencer and Kurt Busch, we saw on that page, guys that ran first and second here in the spring.
Mike Skinner got a starting spot in the front half of the field for Morgan McClure Racing, the hometown team. Tony Stewart way back in row 13.
And Sterling Marlin, points leader, back in 27th position.
Jeff Burton, the final spot on time. Now we're into provisional land here. Lance Hooper in Junie Donlevy's car got the final spot in the field. And here are the 4 drivers who failed to qualify.
Tough.
Yep. So tomorrow night, there'll be 147,000 here for the Winston Cup race. Tonight, oh, they're only figuring it'll be 120,000.
And folks, don't worry. If you don't have tickets, don't come. They don't have any.
Yeah. Busch Series race, 8 o'clock Eastern time, presented by Cat Rental Stores on TNT. Tomorrow night's Winston Cup coverage starts at 7. And next, it's Jaws on the East Coast and the Green Berets on the West Coast. About a 40-45 minute delay for rain earlier today. A little shower coming down just when qualifying was supposed to start. 30 seconds of terror for the drivers. Went a little wrong for some, including Elliott Sadler.
So obviously it's been a big jump for us.
Jeff Gordon, who scored the Bud Pole, and he'll lead the field of the green flag in the Sharpie 500 tomorrow night. We'll see you tonight at 8 Eastern time for the Busch Series race here on TNT.